don't go through life performing other people's expectations. Be true to yourself. Right? Even if at that point it's safer to perform because you're young, but at the end of the day you must know who you are.
Welcome back to Brand More Business Up channel. So on the flip side, right? It's not all bad or not what and all those. And this Gen Z, they are coming with a unique talent. On the flip side, Zim, what unique strengths do you think the Gen Z brings to the workplace that older generations can actually learn from?
I'm a mom to a 19-year-old. And so she is Gen Z. For me, I then interact somewhat with Gen Z content and Gen Z. I think that one of the things that in the profession, honesty. Gen Z, they're very honest, right?
Very open and honest.
They're open and honest, and they tell you how they feel.
Wow.
And I think for me, what I learned when I was like my last at KPMG. For the first time, right, in my career, I felt I was surrounded by ethical leaders. Right, people who wouldn't. So let me make an example. When I was senior manager AD, you know, someone would go and say to my young people, "Oh, don't listen to her. Oh, she's only promoted because of this and that and that." And then you see the attitude of the young people coming in, the millennials coming in. That's not what whoever said in their own engagement, kind of thing. But this time around, I actually knew that there was a lot of things that had been said about me. But it wasn't shaking the Gen Z and the younger millennials. Because they were just focusing on how I was making them feel.
Yes. It's not an inheritance.
What they can learn, because they're always hungry for knowledge. And I think that one of the things that is really beautiful, including, I'm looking at my daughter, they are born in a world of abundance when it comes to knowledge. Right? So they kind of like always exist in an abundance mentality. The world is not small for them. So they're not fighting. Unless a grown-up comes and actually influence them otherwise. But they actually have in their mind that things somehow will work for them. The world is big enough. I can go overseas after qualifying as a CA. I can do this. I've seen people being successful. Whereas when I'm comparing to our guys, we had a bit of a scarcity mentality. So we're all fighting and I want to muscle Mollen out so that I can be. They don't seem to have that kind of thing. And they're very focused on human relation. And when you talk about why, Zim, are you so passionate about empowering young people, especially in my profession? I actually want to create a profession that I've always envisaged in my mind, which is, having gone through, the journey in the profession, where it is a safe profession for young people, right? I want to create a profession or environments, right, that I can have control over, where young people are voicing their opinions without them being scared that their opinions will invite hostility or violent behavior or resentment, or I will catch you when you want to be a partner. I will hold on. I would hold off your promotion because you said something to me when I was a first year. Because we had things like that when we were whoever is not promoted because he annoyed whoever 3 years ago.
What?
You see what I'm saying? So I envisage a world where they exist fully expressed. They can express themselves without fear. Generate ideas. Be creative. Because that's what Gen Z is very good at. Right? But I think then when they get into our corporate spaces, we who have been patriarchally led, we don't like that kind of the truth. Because we have not worked on ourselves. Right? And in order to lead Gen Z,
you need to work on yourself. Wow.
Work on your own traumas before you lead them. Others will call you out,
yes.
right?
Wow.
One of the examples I want to my daughter calls me out on the ethics that I write.
Yeah.
And talk about all the time.
Yeah.
And there's an incident that happened where someone in my family stole from me, a very close person that I would say I consider to be a daughter.
Yeah.
Stole money that I would put in my mom's account.
Okay.
And then she took 27,000 rands out of this money.
Yeah.
And she says she sunk this into a scheme or some whatever scheme that was going to make her rich.
Yeah.
But this has had so many consequences. I mean, that was 2023.
Yeah.
Even now, it has so many bad repercussions.
Yeah.
First of all, it wasn't handled very well by the adults as a collective. We were divided on how to treat a criminal. Yeah. Right?
Okay.
And my daughter is very sensitive to those things because she's raised with consistency and she's consciously led all her life. Yeah. And then she says to me, I am thinking of blocking everyone so that I can have the mental clarity and the emotional health. That's what Gen Z talks about, mental health and emotional wellness. Wow. And I'm a middle child, right? And I'm a person who keeps the peace. You know, like I'm a middle child. Yeah. So my first instinct was to say, you're being too harsh. Yeah. Because, I mean, people were going to have to face consequences of their actions. And my daughter could see that I'm hesitating. Yeah. And then she says, but mommy, you write to the young people in your profession that we have no mutuality with people who are harmful and hurtful. Right? He's got it on your face. She catches me out on my own, the ethics I've taught her all the time. Right? Yeah. She says, but that's because now it's your family. Yeah. That is. So but you write to the prophet, you write to the young people you've been teaching me here. Yeah. Right? That you have no mutuality with people who are hurtful and harmful. Yeah. The most self-loving act is to exit. And the most self-loving act is to protect yourself. Yeah. Right? And get yourself out of harm's way. Yeah. I have written this so many times. Yeah. So now, and it's an ethical thing. It's a very close. I'm conflicted, and I'm telling you right now, I'm conflicted. Yeah. I'm very much conflicted because the people who are involved are some of them my siblings, my mom. Yeah. I'm so conflicted, but I am choosing to stand by the principle because she actually has factual principles. Yeah. This is not how we should treat a criminal. Yeah. A criminal, you report to the police, you report. You don't cover up. Yeah. You don't try and be divided. Don't hide. And also you don't try to be divided on how do you treat someone who's committed a crime. Yeah. And I don't think even I had those words. It was like my person who's close to me stole from me. Yeah. But actually, my daughter called it what it is. Yeah. A brazen criminal. Those were her words in 2023. Yeah. This is how, as a family, you're not united on a brazen criminal. Wow. And it changed the direction completely for me to say, okay, my ethics have to be different. Yeah. Sitting on the fence will then mean that I'm encouraging my child to rub shoulders with criminals later on in life. Yeah. Yeah. And that is what, and it's such a conflict for me. It has been a hard thing to navigate. Yeah. But I've stood by that. Yeah. So I think Gen Z for me, when it comes to ethics, and they call us out as the older generations on our ethics and our morals, and we don't like it. Yeah. But they're very ethical people. I think that's one of the things that for me I've experienced from a lot of Gen Z and the younger millennials. Yeah.
I think that's very important. So it talks to the leaders and the people that are leading the Gen Z, you know,
it talks to us.
Say, did we work on ourselves?
Did we work on ourselves? Yeah. And are we going to be defensive when we're being asked to account for our behavior? Yeah. And I've seen a lot in corporate people in leadership positions. Their words, their actions not aligned. Yes. They're inconsistent in application of ethical principles. Yes. They hide and turn a blind eye to harmful people and try and explain them and understand them and sweep things under the rug. Gen Z is watching and they're losing respect for us as leaders.
Wow. So I hope we as leaders as well, we're seeing how then do we get the benefit, because that's who they are.
And then we ask, why are they leaving us?
Then because they can ask you to say, but your principal says this, but you are doing this.
Your values on your wall. Courage.
Are we ready to answer that?
Their values on the wall. Courage.
Yes.
And then the next thing I speak up, and then they're like, now, you're courageous. I didn't think this was a... No, your values say courage. So when I speak up, I'm showing... ethical behavior is ethical behavior. So we must make sure that we also are aligned. And we actually are like the examples to these young people on how to live these ethical principles we actually expect from them.
Okay, so thank you, Zim. So I think let's take it closer home. Right? So for young professionals in black firms like Bremo, chartered accountants, what advice will you give to ensure they actually grow into leadership roles and don't plateau early in their careers, and also kind of feel that they are making the change that they want to be in the environments of smaller firms, black firms?
I think that one of the things that I would encourage young black people, especially working in black firms, is to understand the vision of a leader. Because I think sometimes we don't understand why did you branch out and start brand more. Because it's difficult to be an entrepreneur and to start your own firm. What was your vision, so that they can attach to the vision? In countries like South Africa and actually the African continent, us having our own businesses is such a breakthrough when it comes to what is the thing, like oppression. Because before we never had those opportunities to do these things. So I kind of like always think that one of the things that we don't do enough in South Africa is to tell our young people, teach them our history. Right? From a South African perspective, people died so that you can have a black person running a brand more. A black person who's a CA. And they did so much with so little. They achieved so much with so little. And we then understand we stand on the shoulders of these giants who actually laid down their lives for us to have these things. And we teach it within the firms. One of the things I wanted to do, when I was still, in the white firms, maybe I'll do it now, is every trainee must start to the apartheid museum and just go to the apartheid museum. Just to remind yourself where we come from, because I do feel, and I'm very much connected to Gen Z and the younger millennials, and I have so much empathy for them. But sometimes I think it's a giving up that is so easy. And there is no connection to Steve Biko died here. To get you this. Griffith Mxenge was stabbed 40-something whatever times to get you this freedom. At the first time you have a headache, you exit. You understand? You know what I'm saying? So I think that there is that, let's teach our children the history of where they come from. Then they can appreciate why these black firms exist and why it's important for us to build black firms the size of a Big Four audit firm. And why then, as a black person, I expect you to be committed. On Saturday, the 16th of August, I actually interviewed Mama Sophie DeBrain, who was the last surviving organizer of the 1956 march. And at the time when the march happened, she was 17 years old, or she was just out of high school, or just to be out of high school, right? she knew the dangers that they were facing and the hostility, and they could be imprisoned, they could have been killed.
Yeah.
But she was so committed to that as a young person. Yeah. She actually had an end in mind.
Wow.
So I think even with the firms, I would apply the same thing. Let's tell the young people what is the end goal in mind.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I think for me is all audit firms are institutes of learning.
Yes.
So if you come to an audit firm and you don't learn, you are wasting time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's a black firm or whatever firm, right? You will always be a CA who has a gap in knowledge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're doing yourself disservice.
Yeah.
Then by not taking these things seriously or think that because it's a black firm, I can cut corners. Right? You're doing yourself disservice because you're not doing Mollen disservice. Mollen is a CA and has run a business.
Yeah.
So we need to have these very important conversations with young people. Why is it that I feel like when you're working with a white person, you're giving your all, and then you come and work with me, after giving you so much leeway, I feel like you're letting me down. Right? Is it a familiarity thing? Is it because you think that I'm gonna cover up for you? What is it? Then let's correct the behavior. But let's not sit as adults as well and be sucking and making assumptions. Can you call the young person, what's going on? Why aren't you performing at your best when you are working with me? So I think it's very important that the kids understand why we have these firms, why we're building these firms. We want to actually build firms where we nurture black talent, especially the way we would have loved to be nurtured in these other environments. So we try and make things as comfortable for you as possible, but at the same time, there is reciprocity that is expected, right?
Yes. What are you giving?
What are you giving in return for what Mollen is giving you, what Zimkita is giving you? And also, let's teach the kids this principle of consideration. Because as much as according to you as a young person, Mollen is successful, Zimkita is successful. But if you don't deliver, you're disrupting my life. Because remember, I was supposed to sign on a Friday. Now, I look at the file on a Friday afternoon.
You know,
the file is not signed. I don't know where you are. You disappeared. You got MIA. You didn't communicate. You didn't tell me. You're disrupting my life. I have a child who's got chronic pain. So which means I'm taking a portion of my time I should be spending with my child to try and figure out what have you done. So let's teach kids to have consideration for adults. Not to always be in this position where they just see adults as these all-powerful people who can survive everything. So I think for me, the environment in the smaller audit firms, in the black audit firms, because we're going to grow bigger, all of us, right? Is let's try to have an environment of clear communication, transparency, honesty. Right? I was talking to someone, apparently I'm called a radical and an EFF.
And you're wearing red today.
Because I speak up. And for me, I always say, I mean, to young people, I just want you to tell me the truth. Just speak. Just so that we can fix things. We are all fellow black people here. There's no punitive thing. There's no harshness. Let's learn as well to create environments where communication is free and people are not going to be punished for speaking up or for all of those things. And one of the things that even us as the firms, the black firms, we need to do, let's not take cultures from other firms and bring them into black firms. Because those cultures were never designed for us. You understand?
They're not fit for purpose.
They're not fit for a black firm purpose. They're nurturing black talent. And there was nothing wrong. There was no malice. But they were never designed with us in mind. You know? And I'm going to tell you one thing that I wrote about, is what my daughter said, to say that, Mommy, black people, we are always trying to get a slice of someone else's cake that was never baked for us. We always want a slice of a cake that was never baked for us. The ingredients were not us.
I was actually talking about that yesterday with someone to say, systems that we inherit, even in business, they were never designed. You see that it's a European system. Yes. Then we say, how does it work in Africa?
Yeah.
Why can't we design
our
systems?
Own? Yes, our own systems.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We bring all these cultures into our firms, and you say it's a black firm, and then a child who comes from another culture is like, no, then it's no different. Right?
Yeah.
We do things that, my daughter calls that she listens to us speaking sometimes that she thinks are anti-black.
Yeah.
She said, when I listen to some of the people on TV who are in positions of power, they're very anti-black.
Yeah.
They sound anti-black. But it's because we've adopted these cultures as well. I'm not saying that we can't copy things from other firms, other cultures and whatever. But were those things designed for us and to nurture black talent? And that for me is a very important conversation. Conversation that I think I would like to have when we finally have the funds to do the luminary circles, to have all of these black firms, audit firms, to say, what is the culture that we want? What is the culture that is conducive to nurturing our kids with their background?
Wow. Very, very important. Thank you for that. So if you were to give maybe a career start kit for Gen Z, what 3 elements would you include to help them pioneer growth with purpose? I know you are mentoring a lot of them.
Yes.
So just 3 things, key 3 elements that you're going to give them. Those ones that are, we're going to call it a career starter kit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first one that I've learned, I think I learned later on in life, and I wish that I had learned this early on, is that from the time we are born and we are raised to go to school, we are taught to perform people's expectations. So we go through life playing a role, a good daughter, someone's life, we perform people's expectations and we never ourselves. Right? And I think that then that's why most of the time the young people are so unhappy. Because you're wearing this mask and you are performing this role all the time. And it's to actually acknowledge that as a young person and then define who do you want to be. Instead of performing for other people. Right? Even if you can't extricate yourself at that time, but what is your true self? What do you want as a person, right? Because then you can define, as I said, your career and by saying, who do I want to be, right? So I think the young people, they need to actually acknowledge that, that the patriarchal system makes us perform certain roles. As a black woman, everyone has an expectation of who I should be. Based on their own backgrounds, right? And I found myself over-functioning. Mollen thinks that a black woman must speak like this. I want to be like that. And someone says, oh, you must be humble. Or I try and perform humility. But humility, Mollen and Zimkita are not the same. So I'm going to have to adjust my humility for Mollen and then adjust my... So it's like, don't go through life performing other people's expectations. Be true to yourself. Right? Even if at that point it's safer to perform because you're young, but at the end of the day, you must know who you are. And then the second one for me is know your talents, your skills, your capacity, your capability. As I said, because then you're not going to fall for things like imposter syndrome. Do you understand? Because imposter syndrome is something that is actually imposed on people. And now it's made as if it's something that is internal. No, it's not. When you have imposter syndrome, it is highly likely your environment is telling you you don't belong here. And now, because patriarchy never takes responsibility, they're like, oh, it's you who's doubting yourself. No, probably we're not actually. Everything is telling you do not belong here. Then you have to be able to tell yourself that I am here as a function of my talents. What are those talents? My skills, understand, write them down. What are your talents, your skills? What are you capable of? What is your capacity? You don't have to be shouting it to the rest of the world. You have to know
it yourself.
And then the third one, I've spoken about it, invest. Invest in yourself. Invest money, invest time. Be unapologetic about investing in yourself. Young black people, what do you call this tax? investing in yourself comes before black tax.
Okay, black tax.
Yes. People are telling us now it's not black tax.
Yeah.
I don't care what it's called.
Yeah.
But your investment
should be more.
So before you look for money is to build your mom a house and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Put a portion to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Be committed. I'm investing in Zimkita, in the brand.
Yeah.
Because what we do is you can't open doors if now where you are cluttered and whatever. Build yourself up to a certain point. Then you can open doors for others. But what I've seen in like you have not even started, you're a trainee. You have to buy mini. I mean, I actually the saddest story that I heard was like the kids who get NSS. Is it NSS?
Yeah. Yes.
Some of the parents, they're waiting for that money.
Yeah.
And they're collecting it at varsity.
Yeah.
And we're not teaching our kids to say no and also get other grown-ups to be involved here.
Yeah. So after they collect from university, they need to send it home.
You're given this money to invest in yourself, in your education.
Yes.
And people are siphoning the money.
Yeah.
For food and building houses but that's not, first of all, it's unethical, right? It's extremely unethical because you're supposed to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
But the concept of investing in yourself, it comes especially at elementary levels.
Yeah.
It comes before.
Don't be guilt to.
And then the last self-investment for me, black women, menial laboring is never going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
The fact that it was going to be, now I make my own bed, I cook my own food. Unfortunately, when you're going to be a CEO, we don't ask you how good are you at peeling potatoes. We ask you a leadership questions.
We need contribution in the boardroom.
We need contribution in the
talking about potatoes.
It's 2 seconds of the fact that you're the best chef, unless you're going to be a chef.
Yeah.
And then KPIs. And for me, that's very important. I mean, I've always said to young people, can you have proper KPIs for yourself? Otherwise, if you don't have KPIs for yourself, then you are pulled in all directions. That's why you fall for these things. I must be the best potato peeler. Yeah. I must be good with my... I mean, people are like, Zim, you're such a good mom. I'm like, that's not my KPI. I don't know whether I'm a good mom or a bad mom. It's not in my KPI. I want to be a visible leader and a visible C-suite executive who leads people consciously, right? And who has impact. This impact on people's lives. Cooking potatoes and being a best mom to them, that's not my KPI. I'm a good leader to my child. Like the same way I'm a good leader to you, to anyone, any organization. Right? So put your KPIs down so that you can tell people, I'm going to have to fail you because this is not one of my KPIs. It doesn't fit with my strategy. I am so sorry. I know that you wanted me to be the best cooker of whatever. It's not going to happen because it's not my KPI. Wow. Very, very important. So, Hazim, I know this conversation have been, I just hope and wish that our young professionals gonna take it in, digest it, and run with it. So, in closing, Hazim, what role? What role can senior leaders like yourself play in holding the ladder for the next generations? And also, after you touch on the senior leaders, yourself and the leaders that will be listening to this as well, then if you can also leave maybe to the Gen Z one thing that are listening right now to this podcast, what would it be? The role that we need as leaders, I think for me, is to open doors. We don't want to get to boardrooms and we don't sponsor young people. We have to call the names of the young people and mention their names in spaces where ordinarily their names would not be mentioned. We have to praise them and their strengths and whatever. We have to be the people who actually push them forward to leadership positions and talk about them. And I think we have this whole thing, I think it's an African thing that we don't want nepotism. And now we've gone to a space where we don't even suggest anything. I mean, I go into a boardroom and someone says we need an accounting firm. And I can't say, actually a friend of mine, Mollen, owns one.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't mention our businesses, we don't mention our young people in these spaces because I don't know whether we think that it's going to be seen as nepotism.
Yeah.
Whereas other races in South Africa, I have seen a different thing immediately before. I mean, you finish a sentence.
Yeah.
My uncle. No, my uncle owns this business and he can help you. And the uncle will come and deliver.
Yeah.
But they're able to separate the business part from this nepotism.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first thing, that we must sponsor our own people, make sure that they are visible.
Yeah.
We must be visible leaders.
Yes.
Especially in the accountancy profession, because that's my profession.
Yeah.
Visible leaders, but if you're going to be a visible leader, you can't be a harmful leader.
Yes.
You must be a leader who's worked on yourself and address your own trauma so that you don't go around wounding young people, spreading harm and hurt.
Yeah.
So 2 young people in the profession, and let's build. Let's build as my daughter says, maybe let's bake our own cakes for once, you know? Yeah. And so that our children and our young people then are kind of like fighting for slices of cakes that at least were built. Yeah. Were baked for them,
yes.
With them in mind. So for me, I think that is very important, that as leaders, let's build, but let's build the right things for young Black people, especially.
Oh, wow.
One message, invest in yourself. Wow. Invest in yourself.
And I know investment has been repeatedly said. I think that's the valuable thing that you can do, favor that you can do to yourself, for yourself. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much.
Jim, thank you very much for gracing us. I really appreciate the time and the time that you took from your busy schedule to just share and impact the Gen Z and also the young millennials that are coming up, and any professional person that is leading them. And so I'm really appreciating the time that you have spent. To our viewers, I thank you for listening in and for taking notes. And I believe, I'm certain I've learned a lot from this conversation. and I believe that you also have taken some notes. Thank you for continuously following us. See you in the next chapter.